You're 9 years old, the first time someone calls you crazy. Not because you loud or wild, but because you throw your body at the ground like you've got nothing to lose. Not the next game, the next save. You're not in it for the goals, the cheers, or the trophies. You're in it for that moment. While other kids were dreaming of goals and glory, you were watching your older cousin dive in front of shots during pickup games and thinking, I want to do that. It wasn't about being the star. It was about being the last line. The one who holds the door shut when the flood starts to rise. It's purpose. It's the reason you skip birthday parties. It's the reason you go to bed early on weekends. The reason you stare at the ceiling at night worrying about your footwork. The reason your fingers are always bruised. It becomes the rhythm of your life. School, homework, save. That fraction of a second when it's just you and the shot. Can't teach what you have. You should feel proud. Stand at the back, silent, watching everything. They say things like quick hands, game IQ, pro mentality. You smile, but inside you're drowning, because all you can think about is the one goal you let in last week. You should have stepped up. You should have shifted your weight. You should have gotten a fingertip on it. Studying body language, scanning for through balls, adjusting your backline. You bark out orders and pray they listen. You're 18 now. A part of you still feels 9, diving on the playground asphalt like the world depended on it. You make a match-winning save in the final minute and get a polite clap, a nod. Maybe a nice one, keeper. That's it. No highlight reel, no goal music. You get the call in your kitchen. Your dad hugs you. Your mom cries. You sit down and stare at your gloves on the table, still muddy from yesterday's match, and whisper, we did it. You know it's only the beginning. College will be war. Every keeper on the roster is elite. Every mistake will be magnified. But for a second, you let yourself feel proud. Not because you were lucky, but because you earned it. Just the cold satisfaction of a job done, that's the role. That's the deal you made. Because if they don't, tanned, something slips through, it's on you. Every mistake feels like a scar. You learn to live with the guilt. Instead, you feel afraid. If it's not teachable, then it's fragile. Your friends talk about video games and school dances. You talk about angles and parries. The coaches barely discuss it. It's obvious, they say. He's got it. The locker room is tense. Upperclassmen stare. Some support you, some don't. Doesn't matter. You're there to prove something to them, to your coach, to yourself. You wear the number 1 jersey like armor. They don't get it. They can't. You're not playing to win games. You're playing to become something. Something solid. Something dependable. A keeper of more than just goals. You could lose it, someone else could catch up, so you double down. You'd start watching YouTube compilations of Manuel Neuer like they're sacred texts. You analyze the way he crouches, the way he anticipates, the way he refuses to be just a shot stopper. He controls the game. But you've got a sixth sense, some weird instinct that tells you where the ball's going before the striker even knows. But when it's time for drills, something happens. You shut out the noise. You fall into the zone. Dive left. Block. Dive right. Block. Cross. In the box. Punch. Shot to the chest. Smother. Coaches take notes. Whispers spread. Who's that kid in the yellow gloves? You're not the tallest, but you're the sharpest. The most composed. You feel 10 feet tall. While the team works on corner kicks and passing drills, you're off to the side, hurling yourself onto the grass, teaching yourself how to fall without breaking. You do hundreds of jumping jacks with your gloves on to simulate fatigue. You kick balls at a wall and try to catch the rebound. You fall asleep at night, imagining yourself diving to the bottom corner to save a last-minute penalty. You're 9 years old and already addicted. Your coach starts calling you the wall. You eat it up. It's the name, the identity. The pressure, it makes you feel important, like you matter, like you're part of something bigger. The world shrinks down to a ball in the air, and whether you can get there in time, the ball zips toward you during a schoolyard game. And instead of ducking or backing away like any sane kid, you leap straight into its path. You don't flinch. You never flinch. The ball slams into your forearm, stings like fire, and knocks you off your feet. You hit the ground hard, elbows scraping against asphalt. But you're smiling. You stopped it. You stopped it. You walk home with blood on your sleeve and dirt on your knees, and you're already thinking about the next save. You don't remember the day you became a goalkeeper. It wasn't a choice. It was something deeper. Something built in. You're not the biggest kid. You're not the fastest. You're not the loudest. You start training different from everyone else. By the time you're 11, you've stopped thinking of soccer as fun. You're 12 when your coach pulls you aside and says, you go to your first real camp that summer. Hundreds of kids. All goalkeepers. All hungry. Some taller, some stronger, some louder. Middle school becomes a blur of practices, travel games, and cold post-match showers. By high school, you're already known. Varsity as a freshman. Every game is a test. Scouts show up to games. You hear your name mentioned in the same breath as college programs with million-dollar weight rooms. Your teammates score and the crowd erupts. They get mobbed in celebration. You love it anyway. Your scholarship offer comes after a string of clean sheets. You head to college with a duffel bag, a pair of gloves, and the same obsession that started in a schoolyard years ago. But in your mind, it still does. The draft doesn't come. You knew it might not, but still you waited. You watched the names scroll by on your phone. You watched teammates cry with joy and sign deals. You tried to look happy for them. You even clapped. But when it ended and your name never appeared, something in you cracked. It's not because you thought you deserved it, but because you'd done everything right. It still wasn't enough. You're not tall enough. Not viral enough. Not marketable. You're just consistent. And no one drafts consistency. Not unless it comes in a 6'4" frame with 100K followers and a penalty save montage set to dramatic music. But you don't quit. You've come too far to walk away now. You dive on half-frozen turf in the rain just to show you're willing to bleed. You pull it on and jog to the pitch, heart pounding, legs jelly. The stands are half full, but it feels like a packed stadium. Then the whistle blows. Your gloves are falling apart. You tape them. Your boots are splitting. You glue them. The team provides dinner after matches, usually cold pizza. You scarf it down and stretch in the hallway, because there's no recovery room. What comes next is a machine built to forget you. You get sent to a camp 3 states away to stay sharp. You never feel sharp. You just feel tired. You learn quickly. This level isn't about who's best. It's about who's healthy, who's durable, who fits the system and keeps their mouths shut. You become all 3. You get a contract barely livable in, a bunk in the team housing. You fight for minutes in training. You explain how to read a striker's eyes before a penalty. You don't tell them that sometimes it doesn't matter, that sometimes the ball just goes in, because no one really tells you how to let go. You let them believe, because belief is fuel, and you don't steal fuel from the young. A new coach comes in with new plans and younger keepers. Your agent says he's still making calls, but weeks go by and the phone stays silent. You train kids with clean slates and unbroken bodies. You teach them how to fall properly, how to stand up taller. You smile when they get it right. How many nights you sat in the locker room staring at the floor? How many times you wanted to walk away but didn't know where to go? You don't tell them how you screamed into hotel pillows after bad games, or how you watched other careers pass yours like trains you missed. You correct them softly when they don't. You lace up your boots one afternoon out of habit. You jog to the park and take a few shots from local kids. It's not the same. It's never the same. You make saves in the dark, before the staff even shows up. You get benched after a single mistake. You sit while someone else plays average, but taller, better looking. You live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 5 other players, all clinging to the same impossible dream. Rent is late, groceries are cheap. Oh, but you train like you're in the Champions League. Because the hotel reservation got lost? You ice your knees with frozen vegetables. Your fingers that haven't fully healed from a dislocation 3 seasons ago. Well, but then, one day, you have that game. One more clean sheet. One more save that makes the bench rise in unison. One more stadium chant with your name in it. And suddenly, you're 9 years old again, diving on concrete, grinning like a lunatic. You were the one who stood still and held the line. You call your parents less because you, Dante, want them to hear the fatigue in your voice. A second division club's starting keeper rolled his ankle in warm-ups. You were never the guy, but you were there, always. You became the dependable backup, the bridge during transitions, the name every assistant coach mentions when things get tight. We can trust him. You've earned that. They need a body, a warm one. You throw your stuff in a bag and sprint to the stadium. You don't even expect to play. You just want to be seen. You rush out. Time slows. You throw your body down, and the ball ricochets off your chest. Cleared. The crowd erupts. Not a roar, but enough. Enough for them to chant your name. Your name. For the first time, it echoes. You treat every session like an audition, because it is. So you chase. You trial with lower division clubs. You ride buses for hours to show up to open tryouts, where they already have a guy. You get paid $400 a month. You send most of it home. Then one day the phone rings. It's not glamorous. But you do play. Halftime, you're told to warm up. No one says much. The assistant hands you a jersey. It's 2 sizes too big. And somehow you're calm. You face a one-on-one in the 86th minute. Striker breaks through, and just like that, you're a pro. You think that's the hard part? It's not. It's just the gate. You get loaned out, get brought back. You sacrifice everything. Birthdays, relationships, stability. Some nights, you sleep on a cot in a locker room. You do it for the shot, the chance. So one day someone higher up looks your way and says, him. Years go by. You're in your 30s now. Not many keepers make it this long. You're the voice in the locker room now. The guy who tapes the rookies' gloves before their debut. You think about retirement. You feel it in your back when you wake up. In your hips when you dive. You hang on. And then it's over. No press conference. No grand farewell. Your contract ends. You don't get re-signed. You stop. You become a coach. Not because it was the plan, but because the game is still inside you and it needs somewhere to go. Don't tell them everything. You don't tell them how lonely it gets. You just smile and say, nice save. You say, keep going. And when they ask you if it was all worth it, you don't hesitate. Yes. 1,000 times. Yes. Because it gave you something no normal job ever could. It gave you a reason to rise. It's a reason to hurt. A reason to believe. Because in a world that moves too fast and forgets to easily,